Hello and welcome back to RageGamingVideos and welcome back to Blue Protocol. The Japanese only network test is happening this weekend and we've been lucky enough to actually get in and play. I played this game originally in its very first test, its first beta 2 years ago, and the game has come a long way since then. Today I'm going to be covering my first thoughts and experiences in my first impressions of our first day finally back in, how the game has actually progressed and changed. Overall, I'm very pleased, so let's just get into it. Blue Protocol is an action-adventure game and also an MMORPG. It's an interesting one because they kind of walk back the idea of this being an MMO, but it's officially that on Steam where it's listed. This comes from Bandai Namco and it's been something I've been following since about late 2019. To see it finally releasing this year in 2023, I'm very excited, but the problem is this network test we're playing is a Japanese-only one, and the game releases in Japan specifically in mid-2023 with our global release in the West coming later in the year. The game features 5 classes. We have 3 melee and 2 range types, the standard weapon concepts with futuristic aspects to them. So you've got your tankier sword and shield user, the heavier hitting hammer user, the dual axe wielder, then there's a ranger and a sorcerer. But let's go over how combat works and how you fight generally. You have a combo system where you can do a basic combo and attack with it. This can be changed by trying to press forward at the same time as using the combo. That'll enhance it in certain ways. So in the example of this class here, the twin striker, I kind of slam the weapons together and set the enemy on fire, which is really cool. Whereas if I were to try to move sideways while doing the combo, I would spin around, dealing AoE damage with my basic combo. So just there I have 3 options with the basic left click, and this is something you can enhance and change later on through the talent trees. Then you have your special combo, which is basically right click on your mouse. Twin striker just does a spin and a flip, and it's just a nice burst of combo you can rely upon. Our 4 abilities then are the 4 slots that you begin with, and by the time you hit level 4, all of them will be filled. There are many types of abilities, ones you would expect: offensive, buffers, element-based attacks. For me, I have a gap closer, one that lights my weapon on fire, a stun combo, and even lifesteal abilities specifically with a twin striker. Like I said though, you can enhance these abilities and combos by changing how they work and what they do at later levels after you unlock that. They seem to have changed the system for this. Before it was just kind of a simple talent tree, whereas now I can literally look at the ability and see that at level 22, I'll unlock like a new version of this ability. I've been impressed at the amount of abilities you can unlock and choose between, because originally in that first network test I played 2 years ago, there was barely 5 abilities to choose between. So now there's kind of something new and awesome to look at every single level on my way to level 10. By the time that we reach like level 20 and we can start enhancing and changing abilities, we're gonna have so many options for just 4 slots. It looks like each class also comes with their own kind of passive mechanic. So with the twin striker, I have a combo system. The more active I am with my combos, landing attack after attack after attack, the more damage I do, but I lose my combo when I take too much damage. So I need to properly evade and keep my health up while I'm DPSing. Whereas say the sword and shield type, you actually have a block or a parry mechanic, so totally different to my one. Each class having their own main core aspect of the combat that's different to the others. That's really cool. And it looks like one character can be all classes. Very shortly after the main story, you'll unlock the ability to talk to a class trainer type, and he tells you that as long as you've got a weapon for that class, you can change at any hub or city, then go out into the world as a totally different class, although it will lower your level to like level 1 if you've not played that class at all. Overall though, the combat's feeling nice and crisp. I'm getting a flare when I actually evade at the right moment, seemingly for a damage boost. There's jumping and jump attacks now. Things just feel really fluid and smooth, especially when somehow, despite me being on the same connection as before, I'm actually dealing with a lot less lag, even though again I'm on Japanese servers, so it's been awesome. The other side of combat though is the imajinn, which is a really important aspect because all classes get them. They're basically summons. You summon battle imajinn for direct combat purposes, or you can equip the more passive enhancement imajinn for their passive benefits. Basically, you're summoning in a guy to help you for a brief moment. This could be, say, a buff, giving your weapons like element damage, or giving you like SP armor. You could drop like a heal to stand in. You could summon a more direct combat imajinn that's just going to punch the enemy or deal damage to them in some way, like a certain element. You craft these by getting the idea of them, like a recipe or blueprint. Then you use resources tied to that creature by hunting and gathering in relevance to that. So we unlock new imajinn ideas by fighting fighting special mini-boss versions of them, found in the open world and through the main story as well. And again, just like the abilities, I found there's a much wider variety of options immediately compared to 2 years ago. I have 3 options within the first few levels. I have a basic punch summon, a buff summon, and a heal. So the pace at which they're actually giving you options and letting you change your class and how you play is way better. The pace is much better. When it comes to the questing and what we're doing to level up, we're basically following a main story and doing side quests. These quests often have you just gathering certain materials, hunting certain enemy types, fighting, say, a specific monster in a specific location, helping an NPC with something, doing a dungeon, emotes and interactions, one small favor quest. I would say these are pretty standard and generic, does the job for a MMO, but there's nothing unique or special about the questing that I've experienced so far. What is great is the exploration they're doing with the regions that we have. In this test, we're able to play up to level 20 now, and they're giving us 4 regions and a variety compared to the original. To get around the world, you can use mounts. We just got given one by playing this network test. I'm still not sure how they're expecting us to unlock this, but basically they have a stamina bar and they can jump and sprint around like you, but much faster. And we can summon them for free wherever we are in the open world. I much prefer this mount system to the original though, because the original had you on a timer, so you could mount and then it'd be on cooldown for a while after you use it for a period. This feels much better. The map and world is full of secrets though. You can go survey the area spots to get a nice view and a reward for exploration. Climbing up hard to reach places. With that, you'll also find treasure chests for items and useful things. Obviously, there's all the gathering nodes, which is very important for, say, weapon crafting, armor crafting, and whatever. Because crafting is a thing in this game, and there is some RNG involved, it would seem. In the opening levels, they will teach you about this though, where you take your first weapon and upgrade it. You'll need resources from the world and through the main story though, and in the original network test, I had to go to a specific dungeon. They have this really cool feature with the dungeons, where once you clear them in the story or originally, they become a sort of open world experience. And by going in there, you can meet other players who are also in the open world version of the dungeon and gather specific materials from that dungeon to make yet new armor, as well as encounter, say, special imajinn to get for your own summons. That dungeon's balanced in a much different way though. Very quickly you're fighting level 10s, then 15s, then 20s, then 30s, and it's a bit overwhelming when we're all like level 10. But it is a really cool use of the space where you go do a dungeon once and now it's actually a new thing in the open world to go explore with things hidden inside of it and valuable stuff like better weapons and new equipment to get from it. Visually, I think the game speaks for itself, this kind of anime style. A lot of people call this the sort of Sword Art Online MMO based on its visuals, and I can see and understand that. It does kind of have that feel and vibe, so if that appeals to you, I think this is a good thing for you. And story-wise, there's nothing I can say. It's all in Japanese. I barely understand any of it. I've been using a Google Translate thing on my phone to be able to learn like how does certain things and features work, but when it comes to the story, I'm missing it all. So I'll be excited to see that in English eventually. But yeah, overall, just for this quick first impressions look and update on how the game's feeling compared to 2 years ago, I think things are feeling a lot more fleshed out and well realized. The classes all feel a lot more unique, and god, do they have so much more going for them, so much faster in the amount of summons and battle imaging that you can get, and the amount of just options you have between abilities and how differently they all work. I'm going to be playing a lot more of the game over the weekend though, learning more and probably making more content for you guys. But for now, this was my first look, and now enjoy a clip of, say, one of the first early boss fights to see how that works.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.